Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another Baxter Student and Baxter Program webinar. Presenting for us today is Michele McIntosh, one of our BSAP finalists from Capilano University. Hi, Michele, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing great, thanks. So just before we get started, I'd like to let everyone know that if you're viewing today's webinar on your computer, just type any questions that you may have into either the Q&A box or the chat box, which are found in your Zoom toolbar, and those questions will be answered after the presentation has finished. Okay, Michele, if you'd like to go ahead and share your screen now, you can start whenever you're ready. There we go.
Alrighty, good morning everyone, and welcome to my webinar presentation. My name is Michele, and today I will be presenting the country of Israel. I will focus on an overview of the country, as well as how to educate travel agents on the destination. In addition, I will talk about target markets and packaging opportunities as strategies for selling the destination. Before going further, I'll go over the agenda. First, I will give a brief introduction of myself, and then go into a destination overview, areas of interest, and some top highlights of the country. I will then transition to the culture of Israel, which will help travel agents become more knowledgeable on the topic. Following that, there will be some information on marketing strategies and packaging opportunities, going into detail about companies that offer tours to the destination. These will be important for selling aspects of the destination. Finally, there will be a brief wrap-up and conclusion. To start off, my name is Michele McIntosh, and I'm 22 years old. I am currently in my final year of the Tourism Management Cooperative Education Diploma at Capilano University. I recently completed my co-op at Discover Surrey, a local DMO in the Lower Mainland. Before starting the program, I studied Mandarin for 2 years at the University of the Fraser Valley. After receiving my language proficiency, I traveled to China and Hong Kong with Kontiki, which you can see in the photo of myself and Hello Kitty. Last winter, I traveled to England, where I spent 2 weeks exploring the south of the country, and there I am next to the iconic red telephone box in London. I've loved traveling since I was a kid and continue seeking adventures and discovering new cultures when I can. We'll move on to the destination overview with a brief history background and some stats on Israel's tourism industry. As you can see by the picture, which is the Dome of the Rock in Jerusalem, Israel is architectural and historical perfection personified. Israel is a Middle Eastern country on the Mediterranean Sea. As of 2017, it has a population of over 8.7 million, and evidence of human activity dates back 1.5 million years ago. It is a country full of history, art, heritage, and culture. While typically known for its religious significance, Israel is also a hub for international concerts, delicious food innovation, breathtaking vistas, beaches, and more. Israel is an exciting destination with countless opportunities for adventure and relaxation, adaptable for every traveler. In 2018, Israel saw a record number of visitors. Last year, 2.1 million people visited Israel, contributing to Israel's growing tourism industry and economic growth. With the country taking a step into eco and heritage tourism, you can see why it's become such a hot spot for tourists. Israel's local DMO markets six main regions: Tel Aviv, Jerusalem, the Dead Sea, Eilat, Galilee, and Negev. All of these areas boast a highlight from architecture to natural beauty. Let's look at these areas in more detail. Tel Aviv is known as the city that never stops. It is spun as a place for both excitement and relaxation. Due to its gorgeous coast, it is the go-to spot for fun in the sun. Its colorful culture, markets, and nightlife attract young adults from all over the globe. Following that, Jerusalem is the capital of Israel and bursting with history. The Wall of Jerusalem and the Dome of the Rock are some of the most famous architecture wonders found in the area. This is, of course, one of the top spots for pilgrimages. Next up is the Dead Sea. The Dead Sea is famous for its clear blue waters and natural buoyancy. The lowest place on Earth, this area's natural beauty offers a serene getaway. The southernmost city in Israel, Eilat, is home to a vast desert and tranquil bay. A dolphin reef and desert excursions are only some of the adventurous activities available. Next, Galilee is a dream destination known for its green, hilly landscapes, quaint towns, and small villas, home to vineyards, and wineries offer a romantic spin on any trip. Finally, Negev is the ideal destination for adventure travelers. The city sits in the south and has many breathtaking views and exciting sights. Abraham's Well is also located here and is a top cultural spot. Now that we're better acquainted with the regions, let's go over some of the main highlights of Israel and reasons that people travel to the country. There's lots to see and do in Israel, and a travel agent should have knowledge of the main attractions of the country to help market the destination. Israel has numerous historic sites, like the Old City in Jerusalem, or Megiddo, an ancient city known for its historical significance. Beaches are one main highlight for vacationers, many who come from more temperate areas of Europe. Some notable beaches are, of course, the Dead Sea and the gorgeous coastline of Tel Aviv that we saw previously. Natural wonders awe all visitors in Ein Gedi Nature Reserve and Safari Park Ramat Gan are only to name a few. Museums, in addition to historic sites, can inspire people of all ages. Yad Vashem is a must-see as Israel's official memorial of the Holocaust. The Israel Museum has amazing exhibits and programs for all ages and even has its own archaeology wing. An interesting fact is that Israel has the highest number of museums per capita in the world, proving that the country is great at marketing its own history. Moving on, we'll look at selling the destination in depth. The first step to educating travel agents about Israel and how to market it to clients would be understanding the culture. A respectful tourist is a safe and happy tourist, and this of course starts with the travel agent. With a good knowledge of general customs, the travel agent can better market the product to the clients and ensure a truthful and educational conversation. An info package for clients including information on correct dress codes, meal restrictions, what money is accepted, and where English is more widely spoken are some topics of interest. Ensuring tourists have access to a local guide is a great first step for orientation. A guide can also offer a more authentic experience, or for those that are more hesitant, extra safety and reassurance. While there may be tension in the country and surrounding areas due to the political climate, staying up to date on travel restrictions and proper documentation are important for the travel agent. As a travel agent is the point of contact for the client, relaying information and maintaining utmost honesty are part of selling a trip. Knowing how to sell trips and tours to Israel also requires a good knowledge of who the target market is. It is time to go into detail about who is traveling to Israel, why they're going, and what they're doing. From the previous slides on what there is to do and see in Israel, as well as looking at reports from Israel's DMO at what visitors are spending their money on, the travel agent can determine their target market. While 20% of contribution to the GDP comes from business spending, 79.5% comes from leisure spending. Knowing that, a travel agent will be working with a large percentage of leisure travelers. In 2017, 54% of incoming tourists were Christian, and there to visit various religious sites and attend pilgrimages. Another large portion of visitors are there for the nightlife, beauty, and relaxation of the beaches. Looking at the stats, a travel agent can determine two main leisure target markets: adventure and relaxation, and religion and history. While there are numerous other markets that exist, research shows that these are the overarching groups that continually travel to the country. After determining who the target markets are, it's important to take a look at marketing strategies as well as ways to help the travel agent sell the destination. Knowing who the client is, whether they fall into either of the main market segments, is important to ensuring the trip can be packaged correctly to their specifications. Sending a beach bum on a religious pilgrimage may not flop, but if they're wanting to lay on a beach for 2 weeks, walking around all day at historic sites may not be the best. Educating themselves as well as the clients on the country and customs, as previously mentioned, can make marketing a lot smoother for all parties. Education will also increase the happiness of the client as traveling individuals like knowing what they're getting into. Having a variety of programs and activities, as well as adjustable package pricing for the client, adds to the value of the trip and allows the client to have freedom to build their trip to their own specifications. Finally, having a good connection with the local DMO and tour groups in the native country can foster healthy and trustful relationships. Like what was previously mentioned, a safe tourist is a happy tourist. To aid the travel agent in successfully selling Israel, pre-packaged opportunities are available. To start off, Kontiki, the tour company for individuals aged 18 to 35, offers an 11-day tour exploring Israel and Jordan. This tour is priced at $3,465 and includes attractions and in-country transportation. This kind of tour is perfect for the aforementioned adventure tourist. In the next slide, we'll look at this tour a bit more in depth. Tourist Israel offers daily guided tours to multiple day tours, many of which include transportation. Pilgrimage tours are also available with guides. These tours run from $50 and up per guest. This company, of course, is operated into Israel and requires cross-seas organization and planning. There are multiple cruise lines that offer stops or tours that stop in Israel and include other countries along the route. For example, a 21-day cruise from Norwegian Cruise Line, which has a stop in Israel, stops at $3,078 per guest. For those autonomous travelers, Israel's DMO offers a list of local guides, as well as resources for travelers who wish to go their own way. A round-trip flight from YVR to Tel Aviv in the north of Israel is around $1,200 per guest. In the best interest of the traveler, prepackaged trips would be advantageous and more affordable, with room for adjustment to the client's specifications depending on which route they decide to go. As an example for a potential itinerary for a client, we'll take a look at a sample from Kontiki's tour. Their Israel and Jordan Uncovered trip includes accommodation, 16 meals, in-country transport, and 24 excursions and attractions. Clients will spend 3 nights in Jerusalem, 1 night in Galilee, Amman and Petra, 2 nights in Eilat, and 2 nights in Tel Aviv. While this trip does not include all of the client's meals or transportation to and from Israel, there's a lot included in the trip, and Kontiki knows how to price and add value. A travel agent wishing to sell a trip to Israel and more, a trip of this kind for adventurers can be encouraged. On-the-go tours, a company akin to Kontiki, also offers similar tours. Some tour companies offer strictly religious pilgrimage tours, which can be used for the other determined target market. An example would be Pilgrimage Tours, who offer over 50 tours with a variety of itineraries. For a travel agent wishing to sell their own version of a trip of this kind, they must keep in mind similar tour offerings, such as the ones mentioned, and price and plan accordingly. Recognizing the target markets that travel to Israel are adventure and leisure travelers. In addition to those seeking spiritual fulfillment, 2 major packaging opportunities can include aforementioned prepackaged tours. Using these prepackaged tours increases the personal well-being of the client, which in turn provides them with a more enjoyable trip. Catering to the client is the most important aspect to ensure a successful trip. If the travel agent understands these markets, it enables increased selling of the destination. Having extensive knowledge of the possible prepackaged tours with reputable companies is great information to use for selling strategies. Israel is a land of beauty and opportunity. It is a land of diversity and has something for every traveler. Understanding the culture of the country and knowing who is visiting and why are key steps for the travel agent to take to sell the destination. There are numerous wholesalers available that provide prepackaged tours, in addition to DMOs providing resources for hands-on travelers. Understanding starts with education, and I hope this presentation has shed light on Israel and how to market it as a tourist destination. With its continued growth, rich history, and extensive adaptability, Israel is a phenomenal destination for travel agents to sell. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you very much, Michelle. And once again, if you're viewing today's webinar on the computer, you can submit any questions that you may have to either the chat box or the Q&A box, and I'll read them out for Michelle.
Hi, Michelle. My name is Ian Stalker. I work with Dan. Which do you personally think would be the most interesting location within Israel?
Oh, for my personal opinion?
Yeah, personal.
Okay. I'm really interested in the history of countries. When I went to China, I loved being able to see all the wall there and seeing the Great Wall of China. So I would really love to go to Jerusalem just because of all that history there. But I'm also a 22-year-old, so I'd love to go to Tel Aviv and see all the beautiful beaches.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
And Dennis says, very good presentation. No questions from me.
Thank you so much.
And Michelle, what would you say was the biggest challenge you faced when preparing for this presentation?
I would have to say finding good information. Like I can use the DMO site and I can find the stats, but then it's also going from a travel agent's point of view. So I don't have too much experience. I just kind of spoke to my sister who is one and kind of asked her opinion on how she would sell a destination, how she would market a destination. And I just took my information and tried to adapt it to how a travel agent would try and do it. So that was probably the most difficult part for me.
Okay, excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
Stephanie asks, what was the most surprising thing you learned about Israel during your research?
Honestly, I was kind of not shocked, but I was kind of surprised at how many visitors are going to Israel. I didn't really think of what numbers would be going, but like 2.1 million visitors going to Israel. Like that's incredible. And all these people are going for more than just religious pilgrimages. They're going for the natural beauty of the landscape. They're going for adventures. They're going to find themselves, which I think it makes Israel honestly a great destination for like millennials and younger adults. It's like I know a lot of millennials love going to Thailand, and it feels like almost like Israel is like a similar destination to Thailand with all of its like activities and availability to go and do all these things. So I think that was pretty cool to see just how much there is to do there.
That's great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I do believe that's it for the questions, but I would like to thank everyone that tuned into the webinar today. Thank you all so much for taking time out of your day. And Michelle, thank you again so much for your great presentation.
Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it.
Hey, definitely. On behalf of Baxter Media, I'd like to thank you for participating in BSAP 2019. We'll be in touch.
Thank you. Sounds great.
Bye, everyone.